The journey to the self starts with analyzing one's own characters. As soon as we are born, we are projected with certain characters. As soon as a child starts to distinguish between itself and a mother, itself and a father, and as soon as the child realizes the whole world is not one, but is separate identities, the more identity it finds out, the more astounded and surprised it becomes. Even as adults, if we find some new things, some new ideas that we don't know previously about, or if we see something new totally that we have never seen before, we get excited. This is the nature of learning, of getting in the characters, of trying to know the self. There are two ways one can start with to try and know the self. One is the analytical ways, by analyzing the mind, the characters, the shadows one has within. The other is the deductive method, not analyzing it, simply letting it go. The process of analysis gives rise to psychology, philosophy, the understanding, and the process of letting go gives birth to spirituality, religious aspect in one's life, believe in mythology. So whichever path one goes with, there is no end to the seeking, because the seeking itself is the act of the mind, and mind has no end. The thing that does not end in within of oneself is the mind. Once the mind is seen, it immediately separates once again. So first, as a child, we separate ourselves from the entirety. We separate ourselves from parents, from societies, from things, trees, dogs, rocks, mountains. So this separation gives us an individuality, an identity, which is yet the accumulation of mind, the accumulation of stories by mind. There is one more separation needed, that is with the mind, the concept of I. When the concept of I is gone, you have arrived. To let go of this concept of I, analyzing of many characters one has within, is necessary. This analysis means becoming witness to whatever goes on within one's mind, within one's body, within one's experiences, how one experiences the life, how one experiences happiness, by analyzing, by becoming a witness to what one wants, what one likes, what makes one offended, what makes one angry. The analysis should go deeper in all the emotions that comes in one's life. From optimal state of loving to the worst state of hating, one has to become a witness to one's life. The witnessing slowly improves, and the patterns of different characters one comes with is seen. There is a certain pattern one particular character plays, and the pattern one can realize. When the pattern is realized, the other characters do not follow that same pattern. Once this happens, you separate yourself from the characters. The separation happens automatically as it is seen, as it is realized. At this moment, there is the characterless, the witnessing, the one who has no name yet has a body, the one who has no identification yet is living among the beings, among the forms of lives all around the existence. This is to say, the happening is realized at this moment. As the character goes away and away from oneself, the mind also goes away and away from oneself. As the characters go, the stories go. As the stories go, the identification goes. The attachment goes. And the mind is not, but witness is. There are other methods one has followed in its life. Many people have followed many different techniques and processes and paths and have come to same conclusion. The arrival is similar. As analyzing of the characters brings one to this point of realization, there are many other practices one can also follow, like Tratak, watching mirror, stopping of the breath, Kumbhak, walking, the process of fainting, close analysis to the process of fainting, the silent room, conscious sleeping, sleep paralysis, sleep threshold, vipassana, holotropic breathing, kirtan, staying in the dark room, sumiran, calling of one's own name. Things like these seem to work in bringing one to the center, to the conscious center to the witnessing, to the awareness and pure consciousness without identifications, without language, yet only pure bliss and experience. Bliss, however, needs to be decided what it is. Because the way bliss is taken as a uplifting experience where one gets very happy and excited about life, bliss is also the other side, the downside, the lowness, the depression, the low experiences of life. So bliss does not distinguish whichever side one is in. The bliss is knowing and witnessing these experiences that goes around. That goes around oneself like cycles, like lunar cycles, like solar cycles, like the cycle of mind, like the cycle of life. So once the pattern is seen of the cycle of life, one is away from life. One is away from life and death. This moment is bliss. This moment is pure, ever-flowing, eternal bliss.